is the customary way of a Brahmin family to welcome their guests. Well, the house we see here is one of the biggest houses in Kasaragod. Another Soumyavanshi temple, which was built sometime in the later part of the 8th century. He showed me a house here, which claims to be almost 500 years old.
Indian Habitats, Saturday and Sunday, 10:30 p.m. Only on Real Estate TV.
Hello and welcome to the 11 p.m. edition of Realty Check. Now, this is the show where you get to access the latest on real estate, infrastructure and lifestyle from India and all across the world. You're with Apurv Parthasarthi. And let's have a look at the top stories for this edition. No rise in the interest rates, says the ICICI chief. The Delhi High Court orders for draw on flat allotment in scam-affected cooperative societies. The Bangalore property prices are going to become dearer by rupees 75 to 500 per square foot. The Bangalore International Airport delay, we'll get you the entire inside story on that. The doomsayers of our economy were gainsaid by ICICI Bank MD and CEO KV Kamath when he emphasized that there will be no hike in the interest rates. Liquidity in the banking system far outspaces the demand for credit. ICICI Bank MD said, quote, "Credit offtake does not match liquidity inflow. That is the key signal for whether the rates will go up or not," unquote. His comments come on the wake of the RBI hiking the cash reserve ratio by 75 basis points over the past month. Even on the longer term, strong fundamentals fuel growth, even as growth in savings of 34.8% and investments of 35.9% boost the economy. Interestingly, Mr. Kamath also propounded the idea that the current hike in food prices would result in increased focus on agricultural productivity. Predicting a growth rate of 8.6% over the coming 5 years, he said that the economy will not slow down because of the investments flowing into the country. Despite the looming inflationary tendencies, the banker predicts comfortable liquidity conditions and stable interest rates. Now moving on to a story from Delhi. The Delhi High Court issues notices to the Registrar of Societies to hold provisional draw for flat allotment in affected cooperative societies. Firoz Shahani brings us all the details.
Delhi High Court has issued notice to Registrar of Societies on the petition moved by Association of Members of Scam-Affected Cooperative Group Housing Societies. The association has about 15,000 members who are waiting for allotment of CGSS flats in Dwarka in West Delhi. The process of allotment has been on hold and CBI is probing this multi-crore scam. The members have requested the court to give direction to DDA and the Registrar of Society to hold a provisional draw of lots for flats allotment in scam-infected societies. With cameraman Mukesh, this is Firoz Shahani at Delhi for Real Estate Television.
Moving on, property prices in the state of Karnataka will go up by 3 to 8% with effect from June 10th. Soumya Nair brings us the detailed report on the cause and effect of this situation. Let's have a look.
CREDAI Karnataka yesterday announced that developers around the state have collectively decided to increase apartment prices. Now, this move relates to many issues like increase in construction costs, hike in prices of raw materials and fuel costs, of course. The president of now CREDAI Karnataka stated that the organization is only mouthpiecing the developers' woes.
CREDAI as a responsible body is not advocating an increase in the real estate price. But what's happened is, in the last 15 to 16 months, when prices have remained more or less stable, the input costs, the raw material costs have gone up. So what was spiral effect of probably 15 months has already been corrected. And from here onwards, I don't think the developers are capable of absorbing the incremental cost. So what you're going to see in the future to come or in the short run is an incremental in the price, because steel, cement, petroleum and every product related to the construction industry has gone up. The builders are no longer capable of absorbing any further prices than whatever they have absorbed. So it's going to be eventually passed on to the buyer.
The body of members addressing the issue included Mr. Balakrishna Hegde, President of CREDAI Karnataka, Mr. Suresh Hari, Secretary of CREDAI Karnataka, and Mr. Ramani Shastri, past President of CREDAI Karnataka. Now, negating reports by the media that the Bangalore realty scenario is now seeing a downturn, the members said that the ground reality was otherwise. And they also made clear that obtaining sanctions for plans have become a tedious process and have been subjected to delay. Now, this has invited high interest amounts on investment of land during the time lag, and this was another reason to hike project costs. They concluded by stating that this could be a temporary change, but in the meantime, members of CREDAI met in this context and have unanimously decided that all projects will see a hike of anything between 75 rupees to 500 rupees per square feet, depending on the extra costs incurred by the developer.
Expectations is, as always, we would like the new government to take care of Bangalore. When I say Bangalore, it is not that I'm expecting only for Bangalore. It is that I would like to tell the government, Bangalore is a center for business. Earn from Bangalore, earn in the form of sales tax, VAT, etc. from Bangalore, and there is huge amount of earning. Last year's Bangalore taxes was about 31,000 crores. Out of that, spend that money, part of it in rural areas. Besides spending it to Bangalore, I don't say discard rural areas. Spend money what is required by Bangalore, also spend in rural areas, because tomorrow even the rural economy should also flourish. A day will come, in fact we are running on a food shortage regime. We need rural areas to improve. Agriculture has to improve, irrigation, power, etc. in rural areas. Once that is done, there will be huge production of agricultural produce in rural areas. Rural areas also will see buoyant times. So mantra should be earn in Bangalore, besides spending in Bangalore, spend also in rural areas. So to earn, develop Bangalore. Look at Bangalore positively. This is the expectation from any government, and I hope it will happen, because the number of seats have gone up from something like 18 to 28. So the percentage of total number of seats in the entire assembly is 12% for Bangalore. So nobody can ignore Bangalore today.
The members added that it was impossible to maintain quality standards with the current cost levels by continuing with the old rates. In Bangalore, with Tarak Ram on camera, Soumya Nair for Real Estate Television.
Looking at the next report now, the launch of the Bangalore International Airport will now happen on May 24th at 1 minute past midnight. But the BIAL authorities were all ready for a May 23rd launch. We bring a report on a press conference of BIAL CEO Albert Brunner.
Bangalore International Airport was bustling with activity on May 22nd. The CEO of BIAL, Mr. Albert Brunner, at a press meet announced the preparedness of the new airport to kick-start operations. On the connectivity issue, Mr. Brunner said that the time taken to reach the airport has been considerably reduced due to the construction of the 4 lanes 5 kilometers Trumpet interchange. Mr. Brunner expressed confidence over the capacity of the airport to handle passenger traffic, which he said will be 12.5 million by the end of the first year.
This capacity can easily handle the traffic for the next 2 years, easily, if not longer.
Mr. Brunner spelled out the facilities including parking capacity for 2,000 cars and taxi service consisting of easy cabs and meru cabs. He brushed aside concern over the cargo facility. He once again dismissed the need of a second airport. Mr. Brunner told reporters that international passengers will be charged a user development fee. This fee will be 1,070 rupees. Domestic passengers, however, will not have to pay user development fee for the first 3 months. To make the switchover smooth, the BIAL has announced a helpline for passengers. The helpline is 4058-1111. Here is what passengers can look forward to find inside the 71,000 square feet terminal building. Free Wi-Fi facility, single check-in process at 53 check-in counters and 18 self-check-in counters, short walkways and 18 shopping outlets. BIAL promises to make queues shorter for the passengers. It also promises a smooth switchover from the HAL airport. Wait is now on for the operations to begin. In Bangalore with camera person Kutti Raja, this is Garima for Real Estate Television.
Time for a short break now, but we'll be back with more realty updates. Please don't go away.
The only show that takes you on a complete tour of the world of furniture and furnishings.
These are different kinds of wicker sheets. Today I'm sitting on a very nice classical sofa. In this segment, I'm going to talk to you about producing something that you will find very useful in your home.
What we have here is another very unique rug.
The complete area. Horizontal, right? This is a purely silk. This is a content matches exactly.
FNF, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Only on Real Estate TV.
Which takes a look at unusual and innovative homes and leaves you with that feeling of, that's cool.
When I think about strange houses as Laurie Baker,
never bored of your surroundings, and it's such a lovely place to live in. What an awesome bedroom.
Otherwise, a nice breeze coming in.
Once it was built, it was fired. I mean, the whole house was set to fire.
It's a place for concentration, a place to find one's consciousness.
Straight Home, Monday, 10:30 p.m. Only on Real Estate TV.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in to the 11 p.m. edition of Realty Check. Shifting our focus to Mumbai now. Fire broke out in a mall in Mumbai on Wednesday. While no one was injured in this fire incident, is another Opahar-like fire just waiting to happen in the city of Mumbai. Our Mumbai correspondent brings us all the details.
The city centre mall in Vashi caught fire on Wednesday. No people were injured. The top floor that housed the food court caught fire due to suspected electrical problems. Despite Wednesday's fire, quick repairs have been done, mostly on the exterior. The fire brings up several questions on safety. Fire department officials claim that the city centre's mall sprinkler systems were not activated. The sprinklers could have possibly prevented the fire from spreading. Moreover, fire officials discovered that one of the fire exits in the mall had been blocked by a store. But it's not just a case of one mall violating fire safety norms. The state-appointed multiplex committee recently found several multiplexes violating these norms. According to the report, of the 12 malls surveyed, none of them had followed the safety norms that dictated the number of fire exits and the height of entries and exits of the building. Several multiplexes also do not maintain their water sprinkler systems. The Multiplex Committee now plans to modify the existing laws governing the fire safety norms and wants the government to strictly implement the existing laws. With camera person Shant Patnaik, this is Arun Das in Mumbai for Real Estate TV.
Moving further, Firoshani brings us the latest on the BRT corridor development. Let's have a look.
Work on Pilot B of the bus rapid transit corridor between Mulchan and Delhi Gate will start this week. This plan includes the status report of rides. Buses will now ply on the left side and there would be much more space for other traffic. The Delhi government had last week asked rides to assess the extent of work completed as per the old BRT design and changes that would be required while switching to Pilot B. The first BRT trial was done on the 5.8 km stretch between Ambedkar Nagar and Mulchan, which led to traffic jam and chaos. The Delhi government had to postpone Pilot B after it came under fire from commuters who blamed poor planning for traffic problems on BRT corridor. With cameraman Nivash, this is Firoshani at Delhi for Real Estate Television.
Moving down south again, Marg Limited launched another project in the Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu on the 22nd of May. This public-private partnership project has been named Rajkamangalam Thurai Fishing Harbour. The project will be officially launched in the Kanyakumari district on the 25th of this month. Our correspondent reports on this from Chennai.
The Rajkamangalam Thurai Fishing Harbour is a new project planned by Marg Limited. The harbour will function under the Rajkamangalam Thurai Fishing Harbour Private Limited. The Tamil Nadu government has leased 40 acres of land along the seashore of Rajkamangalam in Kanyakumari district for 30 years. Marg Limited would garner the total expected cost of 45 crore rupees.
And the 10% of whatever fish lands into the harbour is a revenue for us.
This project will have an open market structure, a cold storage facility and a proper space to dry the fishing net. It will also provide enough space to hold 400 fishing boats. However, this project is awaiting an approval from the Environmentalist Impact Assessment Department. With Krishnamurthy on camera, this is Priyadarshini for Real Estate Television.
Looking now at the national capital region, Delhi is doing all it can to cater to the fast approaching Commonwealth Games. Even the untouched parts of the city, which were neglected for many years before, have seen a makeover. Let's have a look at this report.
For the 2010 Commonwealth Games, the capital is preparing itself and taking all possible measures to host the Games like other prosperous countries. Delhi will be only the second Asia city to host the event, following in the footsteps of Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, which stagged the event in 1998.
दिल्ली में जो डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है कॉमनवेल्थ को लेकर, दिल्ली की सरकार की मुख्यमंत्री शीला दीक्षित जी ने जो पिछले 9 सालों से एक विकास का जो एक रोशनी दिल्ली के लोगों को दिखाई जा रही है, उससे कॉमनवेल्थ को एक बहुत बड़ा हम लोगों को एक तोहफा मिला है और उस तोहफे को लेकर हम लोग जो डेवलपमेंट होगा वो काम आने वाले जीवन में वो दिल्ली की जनता के काम आएगा और मैं समझता हूं कि हमारे लिए एक वरदान साबित होगा कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स.
With more than 1.2 billion people, India is the largest nation in the Commonwealth and accounts for 55% of the member countries' combined populations. The games are held every 4 years, which brings together about 5,500 athletes from the 72-member Commonwealth of Britain. Holding the Commonwealth Games is also seen as an advantage to countries seeking to bid for future Olympic Games. From Delhi, this is Prashant Avasthi with cameraman Nivash for Real Estate Television.
Another story from the capital. The Commonwealth Games has also helped the monorail and light rail transit system move forward. The Delhi Integrated Multimodal Transit System, also known as the DIMTS, puts forward a techno-economic feasibility study on the projects. Let's have a look at this report by Prashant Avasthi.
The Delhi government is paving the way for beginning a detailed project report to access its execution. The 3 lines of LRT and 3 monorail corridors are estimated to cost 5,738 crore rupees and 6,893 crore rupees respectively.
प्रपोजल अभी गवर्नमेंट के पास आया है और गवर्नमेंट ने उसको सर्वे के लिए बोला गया है, मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कहा है कि हम उसका सर्वे करवा लेते हैं और जितना जल्दी हो सकेगा उसको जहाँ जहाँ उसकी पॉसिबिलिटी फिजिबिलिटी बनेगी वहाँ पर मोनोरेल हम लोग चालू कराएंगे, क्योंकि दिल्ली में ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम को सुधारने के लिए मोनोरेल अपने आप में एक अलग तरह का अनुभव होगी हमारे लिए।
The DPR is expected to take 6 months. Only after the DPR gives a positive signal will the government take the next step to issue requests for qualification documents, inviting applicants interested in the high-cost project. The monorail and LRT project will only start by middle of 2009 and likely to be available to the public before the Commonwealth Games 2010. From Delhi, this is Prashant Avasthi with cameraman Nivash for Real Estate Television.
Time to move into another short break now, but we'll be back with more realty updates. Please don't go away.
Coming up next, Cosmic Chimes.
Welcome back. You're still watching the 11 p.m. edition of Realty Check. According to a fresh update, what are the big issues affecting the outlook of Indian real estate sector? Where do the real estate developers, industry experts think the opportunity lies? Real Estate's Dev Parnacharya attended a conglomerate meeting. Let's have a look at this report.
May 21st, 2008 saw realtors and young entrepreneurs congregating at the Taj Residency in Bangalore for a seminar on Indian real estate industry outlook and opportunities organized by TAI Bangalore chapter. A panel of experts from the real estate sector were invited to discuss the current scenario and the opportunities of the industry. The panel comprised of Mr. Prakash Gurbaksani, CEO and founder of India's first BF-founded QVC Realty, Mr. Manoj Namburu, Chairman and Managing Director of Alliance Group of Companies, Mr. R. Shrikant, Head of the Vaswani Group of Companies, and Mr. J.C. Sharma, Managing Director of Shobha Developers. Gurbaksani moderated the discussion. Mr. Namburu spoke in detail about budget housing and its various aspects. According to him, since real estate prices have risen, developers are coming up with high-end premium homes. Unfortunately, a forgotten fact is that there is a huge section of those in our society who cannot really afford the high-end homes.
This has now become a national issue. Housing has become a national issue. People are wanting to buy homes, but they are unable to afford the premium houses. So something has to be done by the government. Government has to come forward and encourage the developers in the budget housing, and that's going to happen very soon.
And that's when budget housing is seen as an important concept. According to Mr. Namburu, very soon India will come up with low budget homes.
Right now the IRRs, that is the internal rate of returns, are pretty high in the premium housing, and hence most of the developers are flocking around there. And the day when the IRRs will start getting reduced in the premium housing, the developers will start flocking at the budget housing market. So that will probably take another 4 to 5 years for a lot more projects to start coming out into the market.
Mr. Shrikant from the Vaswani Group gave a presentation on the past and the future of the industry. Managing Director of Shobha Developers, being one of the panelists, spoke generally about the current scenario of the Indian real estate industry. Mr. Sharma was quite vocal about his disagreement with the concept of budget housing, which turned the discussion's focus.
Why I am saying this thing is this: until unless ground situations become reasonable, we cannot have a home far away from the city with no access, no water, no electricity, and we can sell at 1,000 rupees. I don't believe that.
According to Mr. Sharma, budget housing is not a very feasible idea as the profit margin for developers is almost negligible.
What I mean to convey here is this, that in India, in order to make a budget home, developer doesn't get any kind of benefits. He has to pay the market price to buy the land. He has to pay to the contractors and the suppliers the same cost. He has to pay the same stamp duty, and he has to go through with the same rigmarole. And with that kind of an expense, if you build a smaller home, your cost of construction per square feet is likely to go up. And this deters the developers to build the so-called budget home. You can reduce the size of an apartment to the extent the buyer needs, and accordingly you can design the home. But if you feel that, like the low-cost airlines have tried to carry the passengers and in the process have become totally unviable economically, if you wish to attempt a budget home under the existing circumstances, we feel that the project may not be viable. And to the people like we were told, the plumbers or the electricians or the factory workers, they do not have a good credit record also. They may not be supported by the banks and other institutions as well. So we need to build homes for them, but we need to build in a public-private partnership where government supports, vendors support, we support, we are prepared to take a lesser margin to ensure that they become the proud homeowners. But it has to be a collaborative effort.
The discussion was then opened for a question-answer session. Real estate sector in India is growing at a rapid pace and changing every night. With unending opportunities, chances of fly-by-night developers also creep in. So what could possibly be done to keep this crowd off the industry?
Every industry, there are some serious operators and there are some fly-by-night, all that is there, and that is buyer beware. So, people have to be careful because this is a very significant investment. They have to do their due diligence before they buy.
For entrepreneurs, this fast-growing industry throws up several opportunities at various stages of real estate development life cycle, be it land acquisition or construction or sales and leasing or property management.
Real estate sector in India is one of the fastest growing sectors with 30% annual growth rate. The industry is going through rapid changes. Pace of adoption of global test practices have also accelerated. At Taj Residency with camera person Lokesh, this is Devparna Acharya.
Well, that was a crucial meet for realty developers in Bangalore. Now we have a fresh update coming in about the Bangalore International Airport. The Air India IC609 was the first flight to land on Devnali Airport at 10:40 p.m. on Friday. The inaugural flight was delayed by a day after a lot of fanfare and hype. We have here in our studio our news head, Mr. Anil Nair, who has got our correspondent Garima on the line live from the venue, who is at Devnali Airport to get all the details of the inaugural flight.
Hello Garima, can you hear me?
Yeah, Anil, I can hear you.
How are you? What is the situation right now at the airport?
The situation right now is very full of excitement because the first flight has landed. Just now the passengers have gone out. We spoke to some of the passengers who were quite happy with the facilities here. And it's like any other airport. It just does not seem like the first day of the airport. Everything is in place.
That's nice.
Hello?
And what about the Jet Airways?
The Jet Airways flight was delayed and we still do not know the reason why. It is supposed to be landing in some time now.
Have they not given any reason for the delay?
No, we have been inquiring, but it's not clear why the flight was delayed. Maybe it departed late, but it's still not clear.
And who are all present right now over there? And how is the crowd there?
The crowd is, as in people, the passengers are waiting, and as far as media is concerned, they have just crowded Mr. Albert Brunner, who just said that he wants to enjoy the new airport instead of talking about actually the renegotiations are going on about retaining of HAL airport, but he refused to comment on that, saying that he wouldn't like to talk about the renegotiation right now, and he would like to enjoy the moment.
Can you tell us about the security measures taken there?
Yes, the security seems to be quite tight, and CISF guards are in place everywhere, we can see, and strict check-ins are going on at the entrance through which we came in. And one more thing, that Trumpet highway is ready, and we just came in through that, and it seems to be in a good position.
All right, Garima, thank you so much for the update. Thank you so much.
you.
Back to the studios now.
Well, that was Garima speaking with Anil Nair, but we'll be tracking that development at the new airport for you. But this is a wrap on this edition of Realty Check. If you do have any feedback, please mail us at editorial@realestatetv.in. Till then, this is Apoorv Parthasarthi signing off. Thanks so much for watching.